Now joined by the contingent from BYU. This team picked number 10 in this year's Big 12 preseason coaches poll. They were 13-17 a year ago. Very excited to welcome, and his role as a head coach, Cummard, also spent 3 seasons on the bench as both an associate head coach and an assistant at BYU. And he himself, an alum of BYU. If you didn't know, honorable mention All-American on the men's side. So I don't want to play him and horse in practice. With him, 3 of his student athletes, sophomore guard Delaney Gibb, sophomore guard forward Brinley Cannon, and senior forward Hattie Ogden. Welcome to all of you. Coach, welcome to Kansas City and to the Big 12 in your role as a head coach. You've been part of this program, laying the groundwork as you've made the transition to the Big 12 for BYU. As you shape this 25-26 Cougar team, what is it that you've seen from this group on the floor, and how have you been able to kind of put the puzzle pieces together here as you get ready for the upcoming year?
Yeah, we grateful to be in Kansas City and in the Big 12. Have a great group. The thing that I love the most about them is how connected they are with each other, and we look forward to competing together. They got a high competitive spirit that they bring each day, and if we can just stay in that space, we'll be really good.
You've been on the bench. You move that 1 seat over. Life changes for you, I know. And some of that comes with decision-making of what you want to do, X's and O's, and what the style of play and what people are going to see from BYU women's basketball this year. Is it going to be different? What do you want to see from your team, and what do you feel is going to be your identity on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, for us, last year we lost 6 games by 5 or more points. We lost 3 games where we had the lead with under a minute, and we want to see growth in some of the little parts of the game. You know, so whether it's offensive points per possession or defensive points per possession, or shrinking that turnover percentage number, just showing growth in different areas that we feel like we can improve on. At BYU, we're always going to have a group of girls that can shoot the 3 ball. We're going to embrace that fully. I want to play a style of play where that's a factor, offensively speaking. Defensively, we're going to take some calculated risks and try to be aggressive in different aspects of the defensive end, and then really try to put them in position to really use their strengths on both sides.
Calculated being the operative word, right?
Correct.
The beauty of the Big 12 is that there's a host of great rivalries. And so now folks and fans in this part of the country have had the opportunity to see the BYU-Utah rivalry. As a former student athlete, someone who's been in the trenches, you've done it on multiple sides. Can you just talk about that rivalry, but then really what it has also meant in the space of women's basketball? Because it's 2 quality programs in the same state.
Yeah, the rivalry, you can't live in Utah and not be on one side or the other. Okay, you're either red or you're blue, and it's just what it is. And we love the rivalry. They make us better. We make them better. And as of 3 days ago, in the last 3 days, we're 1-0 against our football team. So we love that. And Gavin and his program, they do a great job. Got great athletes up there. And so we look forward to that. Always have. Glad to be back in the same league together, where we get to play each other a couple times a year.
Yeah, I think it's great for women's basketball. It's great for the league, no doubt. All right, to all of our friends out here, if you have a question, please raise your hand and we will bring a microphone to you. In the meantime, I've got some questions for our student athletes. We'll start with Delaney Gibb, the 2025 Big 12 Freshman of the Year and a preseason All Big 12 selection for you. You absolutely stood out. And what was it, a really great group of freshmen across the board in the Big 12 last season. The secret's out. But so talk a little bit about what you focused on in the off season to get you ready for your sophomore campaign.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I had a great past year with so many experiences. And so overall, I've just grown as a player. I'm more experienced. I have a year under my belt. But one thing that I've really tried to focus on is being, taking more of a leadership role on this team. I'm someone who has been here. We have a lot of new players, and so just being more vocal. I've kind of led by example my whole life, and so trying to be more of a vocal leader for us.
Fantastic. Brinley Cannon, you appeared in 30 games last year as a freshman. Even though Coach has been on the staff, there's a new role. And so sometimes you see subtle changes, sometimes big changes. But how have you all as players embraced and really put forth the culture that he wants for BYU women's basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure we've all kind of bought in. I think he's had laid out a very good, like, simple plan of what he expects of us as players as well as the coaching staff. And I don't know, I just think Coach has done a great job of letting us know our role and what we can do to do our job and fulfill our assignments. So, yeah.
Now, I have to ask you a question. Am I not mistaken? You're a twin, correctly?
I am a
Correct?
twin.
You have a twin
Yeah.
brother. Mm-hmm. Older or younger? Who's the oldest?
I'm older.
Okay. Does he play basketball?
Yes.
Do you battle?
Yes.
Okay. I figured that was the case, as most siblings do, especially if you're just a couple minutes older than him. I love it.
Yeah.
Hattie Ogden, you played in 11 games in your first year after transferring, to BYU from Buffalo. This Big 12, it's known to be physical. It is a tough league. When you have new faces, whether it's transfers or freshmen now on this roster, what do you tell them to get them ready for what they're going to see in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think, like you said, the Big 12 is a very physical conference. I think going with that is be the aggressor. Like, you take the physicality to them. I also think a big part of it is kind of like leaning on your teammates, playing together. Like, it's not every man for themselves. It's obviously you're built around with a team, and I think leaning on each other is a big part of that.
Love that. All right, I believe we have a question out front, right over here, if you can tell us who you are.
Hi, Adele Maupin, KMKC News. This question's for anyone. Fans see the rankings and expectations, obviously, but inside the locker room, what's your message?
Delaney, we'll let you answer that one in your newfound leadership role.
Thanks. That's a great question. I think in the locker room, obviously, rankings are rankings. It's just a number. And so really we can use that as motivation. And we have bigger goals than that. We want to do, we want to prove ourselves and we want to do better than that. And so really just in the locker room, leaning on each other, like Hattie said, and really making sure that we're building relationships with each other and making sure that the focus of our team isn't on, individual success, but on our team itself and on each other.
Coach, we've talked about all day how tough of a league this is, and you've seen it firsthand, having been part of this program and making the transition and coming to the Big 12. As you think about what lies ahead once you hit, late December, early January, how did you approach your non-conference and putting this team in a position where you can be challenged, find success, and kind of figure out who you are and what that identity will be?
Sure, yeah. As it pertains to scheduling, just getting some input from the league and some of the consultants that help them there, we schedule to hopefully lose a couple in the non-conference. Hopefully we don't, but we want to schedule hard enough that maybe we're a 9-3 or 10-2 type of thing. Where we can learn how to win, but also challenge ourselves, see where we're at barometer-wise with some of the top teams in the country, and want that to kind of be who we are as a program going forward in the non-conference. Yes, we got to get some success, have some confidence going into league play late December and January, but we also want to have a couple swings at some of the top teams.
Absolutely. Well, I have one last question for the ladies. I just want to know, does Coach jump in the drills? Is he still got it? Does he make it? What's going on?
I will say, every away game we went to, if Coach Lee saw a men's player on the other team, he was talking smack.
Okay. All right. So that part he's still got.
I got a lot of confidence in my ability. Okay.
Well, that's a good thing to have, and it's wearing off. I like that. You got to have a chip on the shoulder. You go with it. Well, I want to thank all of you for being here, and we wish you the very best this season. We'll see you back here in this building come March.